This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Get your mother-loving ears on because your big-time radio DJ's got news. PayPal lets you choose how you want to pay for all the stuff. With PayPal, I can pay in-store, pay online, or pay over time. What's that? You want this translated into song? I hope you're sitting down. You can pay your own way. You keep those ears on, you hear? Don't just pay, baby. PayPal.
Learn more at paypal.com.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/iHeart.
Drinking. Does that sound right? Does that sound about right?
That sounds great.
That checks out. It checks out. Ooh!
What's up, PA? PA Charch. It's Aaron from Middle Canada. First off, just want to say thanks to Charch for all the insightful and humorous commentary every Friday. I look forward to it. Best of luck in Utah. As far as the Vikings pick, I love it. Keeping JJ upright from an old college foe from the Buckeyes. I was really tempted if the Packers wouldn't have taken Golden at 23. Would Kwesi and KOC be tempted? But Donovan Jackson, going to be a beast. I love it.
And we love you. And you know what? Given this is the final Friday football feast for Paul Charchi, and he and his wife are moving to Utah in the relative near future. You know what? I'm just here for another 55 minutes. I think you should do the rest of the talking right now to just go ahead and get all the words out in your final feast and good morning.
All the words out?
Mm-hmm.
We've got a whole other part when you're not here, but I want to spend a little more time on Donovan Jackson.
Sure.
I watched
Great talk back there, by the way.
Yeah, that was very nice.
Paying homage to the Birchie, too.
I appreciate that very much.
Kind.
I watched about 100 plays of Donovan Jackson's last night. I trying to wind down from all the excitement of the draft and the draft party and everything. All right, so here's my take on Donovan Jackson, who I'd only honestly given cursory look to prior to this. I did not see him being a selection at 24, even though it was a position in need, and I don't have a problem with the pick at all. I felt like there were like 6 other guys that seemed more likely. So here's what I've got from him. First, he's a finisher, which I like. He'll back up a player and then just smoke him at the end of the play. Ends up laying on him. He's got some nastiness to him. The best thing I like about Donovan Jackson, he is a fast processor. When they throw stunts and movements at him, he is not fooled at all. Watching not just highlights, but just watching every play snaps. When they're throwing unique looks at Donovan Jackson, he picks it up all the time. Thought that was great. He keeps his head up and he's looking for the second level for that next guy to go block. I like that as well. Like him a little better against the run. I noted that he only has 2 penalties in the last 2 years. That's great. The couple of things that I didn't love about Donovan Jackson, his tape at tackle was not as good as guard, but that's to be expected. He's not a tackle. He is a guard, but I'll just note that.
I think he played 1 game there. And he hooked Abdul Carter.
Yeah,
and
tough spot.
I think he stood him up a couple of times,
Tough spot. He ended up playing 9, according to this, 9 at left tackle, 5 at left guard last year.
It might have been, okay. Yeah, the Josh Simmons, nice ballyhooed Buckeye beefeater. I believe he might have been drafted yesterday, but I think he
Chiefs.
Chiefs. Right. Thank you. He replaced him at offensive line, but anyway.
The only other thing about Donovan Jackson that worried me a little bit. Mm-hmm. He gets his hands up high on the defender, way up at the shoulder pad level, and he's giving up leverage. And you'll see him grab shoulder pad, and he didn't get called a lot for holding. But he's holding. And I don't think those are leverage points that you want to have. And that's something I'm watching for. But that was about it. To me, he looked requisite of an NFL guard.
Off your extensive film study, would you qualify him as a noted knee bender?
I would not.
Okay.
I would not qualify him as a noted knee bender.
Good offensive linemen are noted knee benders.
Yeah.
Would you qualify him as a beefeater?
Yeah, I think he's a beefeater.
Got to be a beefeater if you're on an offensive line.
If you're going to be in the play, especially if you're going to play guard, you have to be a beefeater, baby.
Kwesi, Adofo-Mensah, 20 minutes from now. Round one, quick twitch. We got any more talkbacks over there we need to hit?
Yeah, I got plenty.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's service Rube Nation for a couple of seconds.
Heck yeah.
Good morning, PA Charch and Nordo. Thomas from Chanhassen here. Just want to say, I absolutely love Kwesi's new formula. Draft the player that last won a national championship. KOC is building a culture here of winners. Justin Jefferson is going to be an MVP this next year. I think J.J. McCarthy not only has one of the best situations for a young quarterback, but out of all 32 quarterbacks in the National Football League, I think they are going to be absolutely amazing next year, and J.J. McCarthy's got a solid O-line for the foreseeable future.
Elite talkback. Let's not forget free agency.
Free agency never fails on the Kwesi train.
Hey.
Free agency never fails on the Kwesi train.
Is it possible that the Minnesota Vikings have built an offensive line that is the envy of the National Football League, guys?
I don't know if we go quite that far. I know, the Eagles are too concerned right now.
But you look at, we got New Cat on his rookie deal, and he's going to battle with Blake Brandel. Mm-hmm. Blake Brandel, not the worst guard in the NFL a year ago, and in fact, maybe a year helps him. But all the same, that's a competition spot there with guys under contract. Christian Darrisaw will be healthy. We got Will Fries on the multi-year deal. We love Brian O'Neill on the right side, and we have Kelly for the next two in the middle. I mean, it's a pretty damn good O-lineman, gentlemen.
It's an elite football mind take, because an offensive line is a fist. And to complete the fist, you need a final finger that was found last night. Talk back, please.
Talk back machine. Here we go. Hold on a second. There we go.
Good morning and good day.
All right.
Good morning.
Like, really happy with the pick, eh?
Guess what I'm wearing right now?
My favorite draft expert, like Thor Nystrom, you probably know him.
Yeah.
Like, he's got him like the second best guard in the draft behind Zabel.
Okay.
And like, part of the reason he liked Zabel is because he could be tackle or center. Like, but this guy's like a stud guard, like he's gonna just topple people over, like he'll get the linebackers, eh?
Thor Nystrom joins the radio show at 11 o'clock today.
He does.
It sounded at the end of that talkback, I was three-quarters expecting to hear, guess what I'm wearing right now?
Well, I think he was doing his Bob and Doug McKenzie. It was very good, too. A little channeling his inner Rick Moranis there. Yeah. That was fantastic. Thor also...
No, your daddy can't help you now.
Not only will Thor be joining 11 o'clock, he'll be on Fantasy Football Weekly. We'll be breaking down all of the position players.
That's still a thing?
Yes, it is still a thing. Fantasy Football Weekly is still a thing.
We're going to Utah.
No, we're not killing off Fantasy Football Weekly.
Do Fantasy Basketball Weekly and a feature on Walker Kessler, damn it.
Well, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. I got to decide. I got some tough allegiance decisions to make here.
Well, you got some really tough decisions to make in Utah. Trust me when you get there, okay?
If you're moving to Utah, what are we going to do when we're sitting there at the State Fair on Friday mornings sweating your impending arrival?
Do you know how long that drive is going to be?
And then the complaints about getting out of the State Fair so that you can be here on time to record Fantasy Football Weekly.
Right. Yes.
What are we going to do without all those stressors in our lives, gentlemen?
I'm going to miss the lightning round so much when you go to Utah. I mean, who am I going to call and say, hey, I have these Vikings running backs on my team. Which one should I use? Weldy Moore, Ontario Smith, Michael Bennett, and Aaron Jones. I need 2. Which 2?
I've got 7 running backs and a flex. Here they are. I need 3. I need 3, and 2 have to be a running back.
Let's get serious for a second, because the Vikings take Donovan Jackson at 24. And like I asked into the segment, is there, or about an hour ago, is there anything else you want? Like, do you feel there were any players that were missed when Donovan Jackson was selected 24th? For instance, I was quite surprised they skipped on Abdul Carter.
I always love that one.
Well, too soon?
Potential dark horse?
Yeah, dark horse. Wait, he went 3rd?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's only been 12 hours.
Oh, I just slowed the fantasy football chat here by blurting out a name that already had been drafted, like Kenneth Grant.
Well, I'm excited for Thor to break down why the Vikings chose Donovan Jackson over Armand Bembo.
Yep, no doubt.
And his ability to potentially move inside. 100%. I know right tackle focus, but physicals kind of pan out. I'll be interested to hear from Thor on that.
Or Cam Ward. Why not take another stab at quarterback?
Yeah. Well, you've said it for years, Charch. Every single year,
always draft a quarterback
until you know.
Every year.
Right. Yep.
If you, it's skipping safety Malaki Starks.
I always love that one.
I mean that.
Come back to haunt us.
That's no malarkey right there.
You know, when we play Baltimore this year, and we will. Mm-hmm. During your call, you have to call him.
Malaki?
Malarkey Starks. You have to do it.
Deep shot to Jefferson, left side. Oh, he got it over Malaki Starks. That's no malarkey. Touchdown, Vikings.
It's probably not this glaring, but is it truly for the Ravens? For 2 years, we're going to focus on offense, and then for 8 years, following and preceding, we're just going to have, whether it was Patrick Queen falling to them, and he was slow starter, but he's made something of himself.
Yep.
But now Malachi, just another freaking safety on that team with Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah,
so crazy in Baltimore defensively.
How about one more talk back, if you don't mind?
Oh yeah, sure.
Hey PA, this is Brett out of Cottage Grove. My favorite part about this whole NFL first round draft was the fact that Shedeur Sanders got humbled, sent home without a team on day 1.
Oh, jeez.
But
I think he was already
I
home.
think this ignites a fire in him. I think whoever scoops him up is going to have a great quarterback. He's not Geno Smith. He is not Malik Willis. This dude is the real deal.
Why does he have to be?
Yeah, why can't he be not Carson Wentz?
And why can't he be not be Eli Manning? I mean, he doesn't play anything like Eli Manning or Carson Wentz. It's clear he only plays like Malik Willis or maybe Donovan McNabb.
Yeah, why can't he not be Kenny Pickett? Why does maybe he's a much better version of Easton Stick?
Talkbacker, we're kidding. Heading into the weekend, consternation-free hour, friend. Speaking of a Colorado quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, the talkbacker mentioned, I think it was Brad, that he was humbled a smidge. My question would be, was he? Because, and I don't, I've met Shedeur Sanders just with a little fist bump after a family game against Cincinnati, but I don't know the guy. I ain't going to claim to know him. So I don't know if he needs to be humbled or not. But nevertheless, if you feel he needs to be humbled because of some of the quotes that maybe you read this morning from the Sanders compound last night with Shedeur Sanders not getting drafted in the first round, he had an opportunity to say a lot of things, but one of the things he said that is antithetical to the humility vibe was, quote, "Under no circumstances should this have happened."
Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, there is a circumstance where it should have happened because it did happen.
Just did.
So I don't really know if he needs to be humbled or how to read into that.
Was he not? Was Shedeur not at the NFL draft? Wasn't he one of the 14 people that were there?
He turned it down.
He turned it down.
No, he was at a home draft party.
Yeah, because
his dad
he saw
was there, I think, in Dallas is where they all were.
He saw the circumstance coming, but under no circumstances should this have happened. He said, "Really? I mean, seriously, if he ever gets to play his first touchdown pass, we are going to hear chip on the shoulder terrorism, and I remembered all these teams who skipped over me, and now they're going to pay."
The dad tweeted something like, "There's going to be retribution to every team who passed him," something like that. Yeah.
Norton brought something up yesterday that I think it was you, that was really cool. And I hadn't thought of this either, is if you draft Shedeur Sanders, you have to be a head coach that is really secure with your lot in life and your job. Because, like, okay, Deion, he's kind of a CEO with the Colorado football program. Mm-hmm. His defensive line coach is Warren Sapp. His running backs coach is Marshall Faulk.
It's crazy.
His offensive line coach was Phil Lodeholt until Phil got a job, I think, with Ole Miss. So he has all these ballyhooed names. They got chains, and Snoop's on the sideline for games. There are a lot of pomp and circumstance at Folsom Field. I've seen it a couple of times, and it is cool. I mean, the kids love it. But Shedeur's part of that, and so is his dad. So, like his dad, if he sells to an owner, he can become a head coach in the National Football League, and I can work with my kid and get things out of him that you can't get out of him. Like the Daybowls of the world, they gone.
Right.
And in comes Deion with Shedeur by his side.
And, okay, so now you're the Browns and you're Kevin Stefanski. You've got 2 of the next 4 picks, including you're on the clock right now for round 2. Mm-hmm. Kevin Stefanski has one.
They got that first pick?
They do. They have the first pick in round 2.
Yeah, 2 of the first 4.
Hey. 2 of the first 4.
Okay.
So you're Kevin Stefanski. He's won Coach of the Year twice or at least once. 2 times, right? So he should be safe. But, in the NFL, it's what have you done for me lately? And it hasn't been winning lately. And
he got a fat deal into last year.
He did, which my theory, and I have no way of backing this up whatsoever, is that as part of the agreement to go along with the decision to ultimately make the trade for Deshaun Watson was like basically, look, you're asking me to commit career suicide if this doesn't work out. You can't blame me for that. But still, if you're Kevin Stefanski, you haven't won in a while. Your team was not good last year. Do you take Shedeur Sanders knowing that Deion is potentially lurking? That could be a variable that steps in right here in the decision making to whether or not Sanders goes with one of the first 4 picks.
Colston Loveland, 10 to the Bears.
Yeah.
Now beloved BJ has 39 and 41. So here comes running back and offensive line probably, right?
Running back, I'd be stunned if running back at 39 or 41 is not one of the picks for the Bears. They've got DeAndre Swift.
Yep.
Ben Johnson has already benched him once in his career. There's almost no chance he's going to roll into this season with Swift again. Didn't like him when he was 2 years younger. Won't like him now.
Are you predicting they take Ashton Genty at this spot?
I always love that one.
Anyway, go ahead. Travion Henderson.
Travion Henderson is the probable pick. Caleb Johnson also a possibility. He was the whole Iowa offense.
The beef eater.
They want a north-south power runner.
Yeah.
Caleb Johnson would be in play here, too.
The Green Bay Packers drafted a wide receiver in the first round for the first time in nearly a quarter century.
Oh my gosh.
Texas's Matthew Golden is the name and speed is the game.
4.29 40-yard dash. He is fast. Now, just because you're fast doesn't automatically mean that you're going to be good or you're going to have downfield domination. Look at Christian Watson. For Christian Watson, just being vertically fast hasn't really unlocked any kind of remarkable, reliable performances from him. But here's the difference. Matthew Golden can run an entire route tree. He is not just, hey, go run go routes until you're out of breath. He is a more polished route runner and separator. And the Packers have been waiting for 3 years to get one of these sort of second level guys to just pop. And it hasn't happened yet, whether it's Romeo Doubs or any of the others. That just nobody's been able to step up and take command of that receiver room. Now the hope is Matthew Golden's going to be that guy. And do the Vikings respond with a cornerback with the next pick? That's, you have to, in this division, you have to be able to defend the pass. The cornerback's the thinnest position on the Vikings roster.
What could go wrong with a speedy rookie receiver like in his first game?
7-0 Vikings, 1st and 10 from the 25. Rodgers, deep shot. Man, uncovered, dropped at the 25-yard line. 2 things there. A, if Patrick Peterson's going to cover like that all year, we're going to win one game. And B, Christian Watson, welcome to the NFL, my man.
Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, general manager of the Minnesota Vikings, joins us around the corner. But first,
The Fan, along with BigDeck.com, want to give you a chance to put $1,000 in your hand with the National Cash Contest. Use the keyword green at KFAN.com. The keyword is green at KFAN.
Spring into savings during Blinds.com's Spring Black Friday sale, happening now. Freshen up your home with brand new custom window treatments for less. At Blinds.com, shopping online for custom window treatments doesn't mean sacrificing on service, selection, or style. As the #1 online retailer of custom window treatments, Blinds.com has hundreds of options to fit any decor and budget. Choose from stylish roller or bamboo shades, blackout options, and more. We even have motorized shades for your patio, DIY, or let our experts handle the heavy lifting. Blinds.com has you covered with free virtual consultations. We'll even send a pro to do the measure and install. Try before you buy with free samples delivered to your door. With over 25 million windows covered, every order's backed with Blinds.com's 100% satisfaction guarantee. Shop Blinds.com's Spring Black Friday sale now for up to 50% off site-wide, plus a free professional measure. Save up to 50% at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Oh, tasty high note. Oh, hi, don't mind me. I'm practicing my new baritone sax. I just heard PayPal's paying for people's stuff every day for 100 days, and there's 10 million up for grabs. All you have to do is use PayPal checkout online. So there's never been a better time to buy a few things off the old wish list. Like this leaf blower! PayPal could pay for your purchase. The Great PayPal Checkout.
No purchase necessary ends July 18th. See official rules at paypal.com/thegreatpaypalcheckout/terms. Participating merchants only must use PayPal checkout online. Coverage of up to $100 and eligible purchases per card.
Hi, I'm Cindy Crawford, and I'm the founder of Meaningful Beauty. When Dr. Sabah and I decided to do a skincare line together, he said to me, we are going to give women meaningful beauty. And I said, that's exactly right. We want to give women meaningful beauty, which means each and every product is meaningful. It has a reason to exist. It's efficacious. You're going to get results. And then you just go out and live your life.
Meaningful Beauty. Confidence is beautiful. Learn more at meaningfulbeauty.com.
In the heat of battle, your squad relies on you. Don't let them down. Unlock elite gaming tech at Lenovo.com. Dominate every match with next-level speed, seamless streaming, and performance that won't quit, so you can push your gameplay beyond performance with Intel Core Ultra processors. For the next era of gaming, upgrade to smooth, high-quality streaming with Intel Wi-Fi 6E and maximize game performance with enhanced overclocking. Win the tech search. Power up at Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Yeah, so obviously on draft day, your phone's always near you. I'm always fidgeting. I think of calls coming, but as soon as the call came through and I picked up the phone, it was Coach O'Connell. Man, I couldn't help but feel just a gratitude for the process I've been through, playing this game since I was about 6 years old up till now, with the dream and aspirations of playing the NFL. Then up until now, I look to my right and left, I see my mom, my dad, my grandmother, my family and friends, all those people who was the village that helped raise me into the man I am today, and just feeling the relief and gratitude that all the hard work that they poured into me, I was able to just give even a fraction back of saying hey, all that hard work that y'all put in has paid off.
That's Donovan Jackson, new Minnesota Vikings offensive lineman, and that was via a Zoom with the vast and ever-expanding Vikings Entertainment Network. I believe you can watch the full interview at Vikings.com.
If Donovan Jackson's going to fail in this league, it's not going to be because he's not smart enough. He is a sharp young man, highest GPA on the team, a 3.8 GPA. It is, if for some reason this doesn't work out, it won't be lack of smarts. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, he and Kwesi can have a wonderful spelling bee contest against each other. Who's going to get anti-disestablishmentarianism? And Donovan's going to be, I'll take it.
Chrysanthemum would be that would be my killer.
CHRY?
And then what?
Oh, so it's C-H-R-Y?
I don't know. You tell me. I have no idea.
S-A-N-T-H-Y.
You're the great Zinnia mind. You tell me how to spell chrysanthemum.
I'm worried about my zinnias right now. I think I planted them a little too early.
You also have to space them correctly.
I did.
That's a big part.
I think that's overrated. You got to go with the with the wine bulbs. You're supposed to go 9 to 12. I ain't going 9 to 12 inches apart, and I'm putting 2 seeds in the same hole. So it worked a couple of years ago, and they were just beautiful and bountiful and bustling, lush and beautiful. Mm-hmm. And we're about ready to jump on this Kwesi train. The general manager for the Minnesota Vikings is about set to join us. Yours truly, I believe, is going to be at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center at least one time next week. But let's jump on the Kwesi train and discuss what transpired last night. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, general manager of the Minnesota Vikings, nice enough to join us early on a Friday. Kwesi, Paul Allen, Paul Charchian, Your off-season nasty theme continued last night. Road grading Ohio State offensive lineman Donovan Jackson amplifies your tough-in-the-trenches approach this offseason. Congratulations on getting him, and what do you like?
Oh, thanks so much, and good morning, PA. Good morning, Charch. I heard this is the last one for you, Charch. As one of my good friends is Armenian, so I've always had a lot of love and respect for all the stuff you do. So congratulations on that, man.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
But going into Donovan, we had a collection of players, like you said, PA, that were continuing with our off-season vision. And it's not really just his ability to road grade. Like, I think he is a talented pass protector. That was one of the things that really jumped out to me when you watched him at guard. You don't always get to see the big space movements and have to recover versus kind of college interior rushers. Then you saw him go out to the edge and you saw the big space movement. You saw him able to function in there, and that really was what sold it for a lot of us in this building. We're excited about him. Then you get to learn about the kid, and he's not your in-your-face lineman. He's more, studious, more cerebral. But you see the nasty come out when he gets between the white lines, which is, the type of football player that we want. So really excited to have him. That when you pick towards the bottom of the first round, the targets you're excited about starts to dwindle. And so, for a couple picks there, you're sweating a little bit, but sometimes life's good to get a little jolt in here.
Who would win a spelling bee and why? You or Donovan Jackson?
Funny enough, I was not great at the spelling bee, and in the sixth grade, I think that the word I got out was jungle. If you can imagine spelling the word jungle wrong, I did. But that wasn't my thing. I'm more of a math guy, so I'm gonna go with Donovan.
Next time we see you, we'll work on chrysanthemum. Charch?
Chrysanthemum. Well, I'll tell you my favorite thing looking at Donovan Jackson more closely in the last 12 hours. The vision and the processing, when there are stunts and movements that are coming at him, boy, he makes the right decision and he finds his man. I was really impressed at how quickly he processes the play as it's happening.
Absolutely, and I think it's funny when you see that on film, you don't always know if that's the reactive athlete or that's processing or that's anticipation or whatever it is, and it's obviously some combination of the three. And we're excited to get him for that reason. As you've seen, the game has gone in such a way, especially the way we're defended. With teams kind of because of what we have on the outside and with TJ and different things we can do with teams. Teams are aggressive. They will try and keep players in coverage, but give us a lot of stunts inside. And so, we face a lot of those things, and just getting to see the visual evidence of him doing that in college was exciting. Just like you said, Charch.
Kwesi, any consideration to trade back and get some more picks for the rest of the draft?
Yeah, I think you're always considering that. It's just like the comp pick conversation. There's always some opportunity cost to an action or a different action. And so we're always considering that. We had some things on the whiteboard that we were looking at, and we prepared for these scenarios. We kind of knew what was going to be available to us, and we said going in, hey, if we don't get this, we're going to stick and pick, and here's why. Because partly because of the off-season approach we took, there's not that many likely 53-man spots available. So you can add all the picks you want, but the first thing you want for your draft picks is to make your team. And I don't know that we have 8 spots, available on the roster in my humblest of humble opinions. And that's not to say that the roster is perfect, far from it. But just rosterable 53-man spots, we don't have a ton of. So I don't know that going into the draft, even though obviously you want to have more than 4 picks, I don't know that amassing picks was this priority of ours. It was really maximizing the impact that we can have on this team in the short and long term with the assets we have.
You very methodically have rebuilt the interior of the offensive line. It'll probably take a little time for those guys to gel, but obviously, Kwesi, you put a priority on that part of your line. And just talk to me about your thinking heading into this season on how you had to get better in the interior, guard, center, guard.
I think we had to get better, period, versus a certain type of play style. I think, again, sometimes you watch and you learn how teams are going to defend you. And again, because we provide a lot of challenges on the outside, teams want to keep people in coverage, but they also want to find ways to get after the passer. So knowing that and seeing that happen, we kind of need to make sure that we were stouter so that we could run the ball to get out of those 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 situations where teams can actually play like that. Also, in addition, can we also protect against those instances when they do come? So that was just a focus of ours. And let me be clear. We did that a lot with people outside the building, but we also thought we were going to get improvement from the players we have here. We still have a ton of confidence in Blake. He's going to get a chance to compete for that job. Walter Rouse behind him, got a lot of young players. We have a lot of confidence in the players we have, but we want a 2 deep that ultimately, when you get to the war and attrition of this season, these guys are going to play, and I'm going to be sitting here knowing that the next guy up is going to do a great job for us.
And Ryan Kelly's going to be really important. You've got a 10-year veteran that can almost be like a coach on the field a little bit. The center is such an important position, especially rookie quarterback. You've got potentially a rookie guard if he ends up starting with Donovan Jackson. And then we've got Will Fries. But Ryan Kelly is a 10-year veteran, I think, can be really important for all those players around him.
You nailed it. The center is obviously the kind of the brain point of that O-line and sometimes the entire offense it can be. And so to have a player like that with not just his experience, but his leadership and then his play style, we think he has the type of play style to elevate others to play a certain way. And so we're really excited to add that, again, like you said, with a rookie quarterback, to be able to handle some things and have that dialogue almost like a pitcher-catcher dynamic and, hey, this is what I'm seeing, maybe they'll adjust on the fly, talk through things during the week. It couldn't be more perfect for a young quarterback, and really that whole group is a young quarterback's best friend, and so that's something we targeted this offseason, and we're happy we've been able to add that to that room.
Hey, Kwesi, last one. Thanks for the time, man. Appreciate it. Good luck tonight with 97 and tomorrow. When Jackson visited the facility and chatted with you in your office, what were some personality traits you saw and or heard helping you know this guy is right for the respected culture that you guys have established?
Yeah, I would say 2 things jumped out to me. First is process-oriented, and I think that's a word that gets thrown out all the time. And a lot of people do things. They wake up in the morning and do this thing, and, they have a schedule. But, you ask a lot of players about why they do certain things. And a lot of times it's, my coach said this, or he's one of the most intentional people that I've interviewed. Just in terms of, he doesn't want to waste a rep in training camp. He doesn't believe in going out there just to do a rep. He's trying to work on something. Some of the great talks I've had with, in my previous career, I was in Cleveland Brown, and I was fortunate enough to listen to a talk with Joe Thomas, and he talked about, a notebook he used to keep at practice and the things he was trying to work on, the notes he would take, and that type of intentional detail, especially at that position, works. And obviously allows the player to get the most out of his ability and talent. So listening to Donovan talk about his approach to the game really jumps out to me. And then second, I try and connect with these guys on music. Tries to keep me a little bit young. But he talked about "Unspeakable Joy" being the song that he would choose. And you talk about an organization was one of our cultural pillars is our positivity and joy and how we approach adversity in this great sport that we play. So to have him choose that song and kind of talk me through the why, I love the player on film, and I knew he was going to be a great fit in that room. And we're excited to add him. I'm excited to meet him today. I'm going to be blasting some Pharrell when he walks in my office, and be excited to meet him and his family.
Blasting Pharrell because you're happy?
Well done.
Unspeakable Joy. I think that's the guy who sings that song. Made that song. Yeah.
You know what? With Hargrave, Allen, Fries, Kelly, and now Donovan Jackson, perhaps you should consider Tinashe's Nasty because you guys have gotten nasty on the inside. I'll see you next week. Okay.
All right, PA. It was great talking to you, man.
Yeah, appreciate you. And congratulations on Jackson. That's Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, general manager for the Minnesota Vikings. And boom! 9.5 minutes. We had 10. We got 9.5 minutes out of it. I thought that was pretty cool with Kwesi. That the 30 visits, as Kevin O'Connell said earlier in the show, when we had him here on a 30 visit, top 30, and the top 30 visits, I've hosted some of them in the past when they were at, I think one was at 1 or 2 Bear Path in Eden Prairie when they were at Winter Park. One was at Olympic Hills.
They don't do that at the facility.
Now they do. So like they're in my years calling Minnesota Vikings games, there have been a couple of stark changes. One took place in 2006 when Brad Childress became head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. And, they were getting ready for organized team activities and stuff like that. And they were talking about road travel. And then he was like, so let me get this straight. We really have Randy Moss and all these players go through TSA with Root Nation at the airport? Oh my God. No. So he brought all the screening to the facility with TSA, buses right to the tarmac, and then you get up on the plane. Because we used to go through, seriously, if you didn't time this thing up right, if you're like somebody like me and you don't time it up right and you're 15 minutes late or whatever, well, wheels up. If you're 84 or if you're Dante or somebody, not saying they ever were late, not saying that they weren't late.
Well, then they might hold the plane.
And then you wait.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you're like 20th in line waiting to take off, hoping you don't have a mechanical. And we would always take off from gate F6. So that was kind of cool once you actually got there. Childress was like,
you're a big fan of the F wing, the F gate?
100%. Oh, they always have exotic locales. So you can like I'm walking down to some N thing for Denver or Sioux Falls or something like that, and I'm saying Cancun, Tahiti, Turks and Caicos. I'm like, oh, that'd be so great. But Brad was like, let me get this straight. So we have the entire team go through TSA and walk through the airport. No, that ain't happening. Nah. So he changed that. Secondly, they've been doing the top 30 visits, not a dinner anymore, at the facility. And I don't think they bring the 30 in at once. Like the last,
no.
Yeah, the last time I did it, I was low key so offended by Shaq Thompson. Okay, so Shaq Thompson and Devontae Parker, where I think Devontae from Louisville,
right?
Shaq from Washington. And they were late, and Shaq was discombobulated. He was pear-shaped. Because he was upset that he was late, had to rush to get there and everything.
Yeah.
Had his shades on inside like where they eat at Bear Path or whatever. And Mark Wilf, co-owner of the team, the president, came up and tried to talk to him. So I'm like the mediator to this thing. And like Shaq, A, he had no idea who he was. B, he just blew him off.
Wow.
Or kind of blew him off. And I'm like, Shaq, you do know this is one of the owners of the team here.
Yeah.
Man. The glasses come off. Hey, let's talk about Tinashe.
Don't you have an agent who lets you know in advance who like the 5 really important people are in this visit that you have to impress?
And that was the year that I met this offensive lineman who went to a tiny school in upstate New York.
Not Slippery Rock?
No. Ali Marpet. And I sat and chatted with, I can't remember the school. It's a small school.
Didn't you go to Hobart?
Thank you, Hobart. Yeah, I think it's in New York. Hobart, yeah, right. And so I sat down with Ali, chatted with him like 7 minutes, man. Of course, I fell in love. And I'm like, we got to get this guy. It's unbelievable. And so watching the draft and everything, and with the whatever pick in the whatever draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Ali Marpet, offensive lineman, Hobart. I'm like, I just went right to the Patron bottle. It's 10:43. You're listening to The Feast on.
Oh, tasty high note. Oh, hi, don't mind me. I'm practicing my new baritone sax. I just heard PayPal's paying for people's stuff every day for 100 days, and there's 10 million up for grabs. All you have to do is use PayPal checkout online. So there's never been a better time to buy a few things off the old wish list. Like this leaf blower! PayPal could pay for your purchase. The Great PayPal Checkout.
No purchase necessary. Ends July 18th. See official rules at paypal.com/thegreatpaypalcheckout/terms. Participating merchants only must use PayPal Checkout online. Coverage of up to $100 and eligible purchases per card.
Now I'd like to introduce you to Meaningful Beauty, the famed skincare brand created by iconic supermodel Cindy Crawford. It's her secret to absolutely gorgeous skin. Meaningful Beauty makes powerful and effective skincare simple, and it's loved by millions of women. It's formulated for all ages and all skin tones and types, and it's designed to work as a complete skincare care system, leaving your skin feeling soft, smooth, and nourished. I recommend starting with Cindy's full regimen, which contains all 5 of her best-selling products, including the amazing youth-activating melon serum. This next-generation serum has the power of melon leaf stem cell technology. It's melon leaf stem cells encapsulated for freshness and released onto the skin to support a visible reduction in the appearance of wrinkles. With thousands of glowing 5-star reviews, why not give it a try? Subscribe today and you can get the amazing Meaningful Beauty system for just $49.95. That includes our introductory 5-piece system, free gifts, free shipping, and a 60-day money-back guarantee. All of that available at meaningfulbeauty.com.
In the heat of battle, your squad relies on you. Don't let them down. Unlock elite gaming tech at Lenovo.com. Dominate every match with next-level speed, seamless streaming, and performance that won't quit, so you can push your gameplay beyond performance with Intel Core Ultra processors. For the next era of gaming, upgrade to smooth, high-quality streaming with Intel Wi-Fi 6E and maximize game performance with enhanced overclocking. Win the tech search. Power up at Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. Avoiding your unfinished home projects because you're not sure where to start? Thumbtack knows homes, so you don't have to. Don't know the difference between matte paint finish or satin, or what that clunking sound from your dryer is? With Thumbtack, you don't have to be a home pro. You just have to hire one. You can hire top-rated pros, see price estimates, and read reviews all in the app. Download today.
KFAN. It is 10:50 in the neighborhood being the Friday Football Feast at FM 100.3 KFAN. Remember when the fire marshal had to come to Buffalo Wild Wings Savage in 2009 because it was too packed before the NFC title game? Do you remember when?
I do. We had too many people in this was it Chanhassen?
Yeah, it's what I said. Okay,
Chanhassen,
3-2.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll try it again. Remember when the fire marshal had to come to Buffalo Wild Wings Savage in 2009 because it was too packed before the NFC title game? Remember
Savage,
when?
you say? Yes, absolutely.
Do you remember when those ladies went to leg wrestling at Buffalo Wild Wings Crystal?
I do. That was one that we had not seen before. That was and since.
If I was to pick a place where leg wrestling would take place, middle of the morning at a buffet, I'd pick the Crystal spot.
Crystal Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yep. Stop by the record store right next door. Well, I forgot what it was called. Down in the Valley, maybe?
Yeah, down in the valley.
Yeah, down in the valley
right there.
Then a smoke shop next door, and
Schinder's used to be right there in ye olden days.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember?
Remember when?
Buffalo Wild Wings Roseville, when a man brought a live, large fish
and
ate it.
It bit the head off
raw.
Yeah,
wriggling.
the guy's name was Josh. Yeah, he owned a restaurant up by Onamia. So, like an hour, 15 minutes north. And he, I don't know if he still does this, but he used to throw unbelievable tailgate parties from what I heard before Vikings games.
Yeah.
And he was so fired up before a game. He showed up to Buffalo Wild Wings Roseville with a cooler. And I'm like, all right, this ought to get good. Buffalo Wild Wings like, can't bring a cooler in here. And he's like, why not? I have a fish in here. And they're like, okay. So then the manager comes up and I'm like, yeah, let him come in. And then he goes on the radio, takes the fish out of the cooler, and it's flopping. It's moving. And he bites the head off. There's like blood all over the place and everything. Do you remember when?
I do remember when.
Remember all those fun football feasts that we would have at Buffalo Wild Wings throughout the state and for more than a decade and a half? They're over, at least as we've known them. It is the end of an era. Paul Charch is moving to Utah with his wife and leaving behind a multiple decade legacy of helping us here at KFAN. Yours truly. I remember when the former show, PA and Dubé, fell apart, and I was doing the show by myself for the better part of 5 or 6 months, and you were with Chad Hartman. like on a weekly basis. We might have been AM 1130 at that time.
Yeah, we were
in Bloomington on Xerxes, and I don't know what Chad had up his sleeve, but you weren't being used, and
Chad got laid off, unfortunately.
Oh, that's what somebody else had up their sleeve.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I got it now.
Yeah,
love you, Chad. So anyway, you. Well, now I'm an opportunist. This is sweet. 3-2. So you were available. I had just started the show by myself. It was awful. Not saying it's great now, but it was awful. I had no desire to do a solo show. I told Mike Crusham, Dan Seaman, and the bosses and everything, I ain't calling it the Paul Allen Show. Okay, so that's the end of the story right there. So, and then they were like, okay, well, how about if we do this? How about if we do this? And we're going to believe in you. And the 2009 season hit, okay? And so I had done several months of shows and was very, very professionally unhappy at that time with the way things had developed, personally unhappy, too, with what had happened to Jeff. And then you rolled along and helped yours truly and the station with the Friday Football Feast, man. So I just want to let you know that I'm going to miss you, and you always have a place in the 9 to noon covenant and with the Friday Football Feast. And personally, I just want to thank you for everything that you've contributed to this radio show, man. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you for 15-ish great years, Paul. This was a really difficult decision to leave almost all of my friends, the people that I've grown up with, and the opportunity to, turn on 100,000 watts of radio and spew just utter nonsense. But most importantly, it's been the time with amazing people like you, who I consider a dear friend, Nordo as well. The morning show people that have been great to me, the Cross Charch Challenge. It's been really a dream come true in many ways. And this is the hardest decision of my life. I've had to decide to build and sell companies. Nothing compares to the difficulty of the decision to leave somebody like you that I've spent 3 hours every week with for 15 years, and all of the amazing times that we've had together and things I can never, ever have again anywhere else, any place else. And I'm scared, honestly, of leaving the people I love. And I don't know how it's going to work out, but I feel like the time is right to try a new chapter while I'm young enough to still go hiking and camping and do all these amazing things in another state and not have spent cradle to grave in Minnesota. Not that Minnesota's not great. It is great. I just feel like I'm at a stage in my life where I want to try something new. And if it doesn't work, I'll come crawling back.
I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you, and it's been great watching you grow personally and or professionally through trials and travails and through success. So 9 to noon's always here for you, man. And the reason we're doing this now is because I'm actually taking off in a couple of minutes for I got a medical situation with which I need to deal at 11:30, and Charch and Nordo bring you home the final hour. So go Wolves tonight, go Wild tomorrow. We will be talking again on Monday, and let's get closure here. I forgive you for pushing Ryan Matthews first overall that year you did and ruining like 15 of my fantasy football drafts, okay? I love you, man, and safe travels, and I know we'll stay in touch.
Of course.
We'll be right back.
Hey, Janice Torres here.
And I'm Austin Hankwitz.
We're the hosts of Mind the Business Small Business Success Stories, produced by Ruby Studio and Intuit QuickBooks. Catch up on seasons 1 and 2 and join us for a brand new season of the podcast as we talk to small business owners about how they manage and grow their businesses with the help of platforms like Intuit QuickBooks.
Listen to Mind the Business Small Business Success Stories on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get your mother-loving ears on because your big-time radio DJ's got news. PayPal lets you choose how you want to pay for all the stuff. With PayPal, I can pay in-store, pay online, or pay over time. What's that? You want this translated into song? I hope you're sitting down. You can pay your own way. You keep those ears on, you hear? Don't just pay, baby. PayPal.
Learn more at PayPal.com.
You know, some people say that Odoo business management software is like fertilizer.
the way it promotes growth and all. But other people say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. And there's some people who would even say Odoo's individual software programs come together to build the perfect suite like building blocks. Well, Odoo is all of these things. Fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. So sign up now at odoo.com, ODOO.com.
Are you still quoting 30-year-old movies? Have you said cool beans in the past 90 days? Do you think Discover isn't widely accepted? If this sounds like you, you're stuck in the past. Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. And every time you make a purchase with your card, you automatically earn cash back. Welcome to the now. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/credit card. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.